Right, let's do Manchester United 4, Brighton 2. I personally think that was a very much deserved victory. What did you think?
Yeah, I do. I thought the goal at the end put the mood back where it should have been, because I
Yeah.
think being 3-0 up and conceding 2 and it getting a little bit hairy, there's a little bit of frustration in the air. Justified frustration, but there was frustration in the air. And I think that final goal going in let everyone actually appreciate what we've just done and actually celebrate the victory properly, I think.
So what had we just done then? Because United had lost 6 of the last 7 games to Brighton, across us having multiple managers in that time, them having multiple managers. There was clearly a systematic thing that, I don't know, was when we played them, that what they do, what we seem to have weaknesses against. But they had a real hold on Man United in a way that basically no other team had done over the same period. I think we've got basically the worst record of any against them compared to any team in the league. What did we do differently? And how did United sort of overcome this sort of terrible run that we've had against Brighton?
Well, we raced into a 3-0 lead, and honestly, it could have been far more if we'd have had referee and VAR that were actually doing their jobs at any point in the game. And actually 4-2 only exists because of the referees not doing their jobs properly during the game, both the VAR and Anthony Taylor. I genuinely thought, at multiple periods during the game, and before we scored our first goal, I might empty my accounts and lump on Brighton winning here, because it felt like corruption. It felt like this is not just incompetence, but this is, like we were talking about the other day with the Barcelona stuff, like this is incomprehensibly corrupt. This is not just poor refereeing. This is orders from on high. Manchester United aren't allowed to win this game today. That's what it felt like. And then we scored the first goal, and I calmed down a little bit. But it was going through my head like,
yeah,
the foul on Ahmad is a penalty, right? And Gary Neville needs to have a word, because even if there is the slightest touch on the ball, which there isn't, it's still a penalty. Like, you can't just touch the ball and then clatter somebody and lift them off their feet and be like, well, I touched the ball. That's not the rule, mate. So it was a penalty. Then we've pressed them. They've passed it along the edge of their box. And then Mbeumo's been launched. For me, from where I only saw it once, I haven't seen the replay. But for me, that was a penalty as well.
Yeah,
On the line is the penalty, and it was on the line. So that's a penalty as well. Then there was like 2 or 3 more fouls, which were all on Mbeumo, that he was just waving off. And you're like, you need to book him, because this is, you're saying it's not a foul, so he's dived, right? Because that's the only things that's happened here. So you need to go book him. Nothing happened. And then obviously we get the goal. We get a second goal. We get a third goal. And at the time I'm thinking, we might get 4 here. We've been good enough to get 4. We've been doing stuff in their box where it almost looks easy at times. We're due for a 4th. Then we make loads of substitutions. We kill the momentum of the game with those substitutions. Then they get the foul, which there's some debate about whether it is a foul from Dorgu or not. I think everyone was preoccupied about whether he was last man or not, and panicking that he might get a red. And nobody notices that the ball is moved 15 yards closer to the goal from where the foul actually takes place. The foul doesn't take place on the edge of the box where the free kick takes place, right? Have you seen the photo that I tweeted?
No, I haven't. I'll have a look now while you're talking. I hadn't even considered that.
Joe, it's horrendous. I'm going to just go wait until you bring it up, right?
Yeah. So basically, the foul is probably 30 yards out, and they take the free kick maybe 21 yards out, something like that. They've given themselves probably 10 yards. Yeah.
It might be 10, it might be 12. It could even be 15 yards away from where the free kick eventually
it's a massive difference, yeah.
Right? That doesn't go in from there.
No.
And then you're looking at totally different game. Now, Brighton, to their credit, after they get 1, they push on, they get a second. Little bit of calamity at the corner. But to United's credit, we kept going. And we kept pushing. We actually had a couple of chances in injury time. And a little bit of skill from Bruno, letting it go. And Brian Mbeumo doing Brian Mbeumo things. I think he's been a sensational signing for us. I've said it a couple of times over the last few weeks, and I think he's our best player. Like, I think him and Cunha were great today. totally different footballers. They bring something totally different to each other, to the team. I think they've both settled in so well because they're Premier League signings, but they're so much fun to watch. All they want to do is get forward and score goals, and they can and they do.
The technical ability they've got as well. I was talking about this throughout the whole watch along, throughout the review. Like when some of the ball's up in the air from Mbeumo, and you just think he's probably going to make something of this. And not only does he make something of it, the first touch drags it inside the man into his path so he can sprint through and try and challenge the goalkeeper. Like the technical ability that they have is such a massive I know you speak about this all the time, we talk about this all the time. Having good players is the best thing a team can have if you want to start winning stuff. Good players are more important than anything. But I actually feel like when we've got the ball in the final third, and then you've got Bruno backing that up as well, who I also thought was very good today, there's no wonder we make chances in every game. Our XG is very good in every game. Like today, how many times did we have the ball in their box? You said at one point it sort of almost felt easy getting the ball around there. That hasn't been the case for multiple seasons. All of a sudden, United's final third, we've actually got really good quality in there, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And I thought Ahmad was very good as well today.
Yeah.
I think he linked up real nice with Mbeumo. They're growing into a bit of a relationship. I still thought Sesko was good. I thought it was a quieter game from him, but I thought at times he was winning his duels. He was bringing people into stuff. He was offering an in-behind threat. I thought it was a real good shift from him as well, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it was just a good performance. And 3-0 at the time, I'd have took that. And I wanted everything for a clean sheet for Lemon as well, because I think, even with, I haven't seen the free kick back. It feels like he probably should have done a little bit better than he did with the free kick. But he was still making good saves again today. And I think he delivers a level of confidence to us. Did you see what I tweeted in the first? Go back and have a look at the photograph that I tweeted of our shape in the first 10, 15 minutes or so. Because I don't know if it came across on the telly.
Yeah.
De Ligt and Shaw were following right into their midfield. And at times we was left with a back three of Yoro, Ahmad and Dalot. Because Luke Shaw and De Ligt were tracking all the way into midfield. It was weird. There was at one point, De Ligt ended up... I think me and Rio was texting about it during the game, because I was like, can you see this? Are you seeing what's going on here? And De Ligt got dragged or followed. Don't know which one was the driver and which one was the follower there. Danny Welbeck dropped all the way onto the edge of his own box, and De Ligt followed him. I'm like, this is either genius or madness, and I don't know which one it is just yet. But it's different.
Yeah, it is different. And on that, I was thinking about the same thing, because I think it was really obvious today, like you said. Obviously not as obvious as seeing it in the stadium and having the whole pitch on offer, but our centre-backs tracking their attackers back into midfield is such a clear, repeated thing that we're doing under Amorim. It's clearly the instruction, isn't it? And I think, obviously, when it goes wrong, and Fulham, I always bring it up, but Fulham players and manager like to mention how they sort of knew we were going to do that, and they didn't hold players further up. They actually pushed up with more players all at once from midfield, so they could, our players didn't know who to track. But when it works well, and when it's really sort of ticking over and being effective, you almost have two midfielders, yes, but the option of four. It can be as many as four depending on what's needed. And I think at its best, that's the way we overcome and counteract having only two midfielders. You've essentially got two centre-backs who can push in at any given time as well. Do you start to see a pattern and a system under Amorim that you think can be successful going forward? Because we're not talking about his future right now, because I think, he's had a few wins in a row. That's not the conversation. But are you feeling confident in his tactics and him as a manager? Do you like it?
Yeah, I mean, I did a video which I sent a lot of screenshots of this afternoon, which is that I've lost faith in him. But at the end of the day, like, I can't tweet today is Monday and you message me on Tuesday going, today's Tuesday, my friend. Yeah, because things have changed. There's been different impetus. I had lost faith in him. That was the truth. That was my emotion and my feeling at the time. And it wasn't on nothing. It was on the basis of evidence. Yep. And my opinion has changed. And my opinion has changed on the basis of evidence. What evidence have we seen? We've literally seen Manchester United from the Sunderland game, I would argue. So it's no coincidence that it's been within this run. From the Sunderland game, we saw half a dozen different shapes and patterns. Then against Liverpool, we see different shapes and patterns. Then today, again, we see even more different shapes and patterns. And it's kind of like, for starters, where the living fuck has this been for the last year? Because
Yeah.
for the past year, it's been the same thing was just served up. It's like, oh, we're on porridge again today, are we, lads? Cool. And then they've just come out with a full English. And then a continental breakfast, and then a red hot wings buffet. We've had 3 different meals after getting porridge for a year. Like, has my opinion changed? It has, because the evidence has changed. What we're seeing is different to the slop that we got served up, and it's different to the Hoyland and Garnacho slop. It's a higher quality of dish. Now, maybe we weren't cooking it quite right at the start of the season, but now we've learned how to cook it. It's fucking sensational. It's absolute.
Just
Although what I will say is,
go on.
the substitutions were porridge.
Well, what would you have done differently there? Do you think he shouldn't have taken Sesko off? Because you look at the bench.
He absolutely had to. He had to.
Okay.
We've got to see Joshua Zirkzee. We've got to see more of Mainu. When you're 3-0 up in a game, you have to be able to bring other people in, because the goal is Europe next year. And as we're talking right now, I know this is going out in the morning. As we're talking right now, we are 4th. That probably changes tomorrow. But right now, at the time of recording, we are 4th. If we keep doing what we're doing, we're in Europa League next year. That was the difference everybody wanted to see. If we hit it nice and we go on a bit of a run, Champions League is not mental for us to talk about right now. It's not mental, because we're sitting in that spot right now. We're playing musical chairs, but we're on a chair, right? The music's going to change, and it probably changes tomorrow. We might be stood up tomorrow, but right now we're sitting on a chair. So it's not insane for us to say, can we hold on to this chair while all those around us have got to deal with European football, and we don't even have to deal with the League Cup because we fucked it up. We've only got this and the FA Cup to deal with till the end of the season. You pretty much know how many games we've got right until the end of the season. We could easily find ourselves in a Champions League spot, which is fucking mental, considering but a month ago, you'd have been sectioned for saying that.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's going, sack him, and you went, I actually think we're going to finish in the Champions League spot this year. You'd have been slapped, and probably correctly so. But the evidence in front of us has changed. And we find ourselves sitting on a Champions League chair when the music stopped. All we got to do is do it another 29 times.
Yeah, just as easy as that, really. In terms of things changing, then, because obviously
I think we're going to stay up, though.
Yeah, I think we'll stay up. I think we can say we'll stay up. Obviously, scoring first helps. We've done that in all of the games that we've won. That's a good thing. That's a good starting point. Amorim mentioned that a lot last season about early goals and not conceding early goals. That's something that's changed. In terms of the stability of holding on to wins, because obviously if you're going to win a game, you have to do it as the whistle blows for the final time. Against Chelsea, we held on, and I think after their goal, they didn't have a shot on target. I know we allowed them to score one, but after that, we did all right. Sunderland, they never really amounted to much, and we kept it a clean sheet. Liverpool, they had some chances, admittedly. That was, against Anfield, that's probably going to happen. Today, I think after their second goal went in, I thought United actually did a good job of stopping them making any more chances. Obviously, then to get the fourth cemented the win, no doubt. That's something that is hard to build, I think. That's where confidence and true resilience takes a long time to get. How important is it that we are managing to do that? And it's not, we haven't scored like late last minute winners much at all. I know that the Liverpool one was a little bit, and today it was to cement it, but we haven't been relying on us getting the last minute winner. We've been able to hold teams off. Is that a big thing? Do you think that's something that's changed since last season?
Maybe. I think what's more evident, maybe more important, is in just this little 3-match run, we started the game with confidence today. Now, next week, immediately, gotta go, cool. Focus on next week now. Sean Dyche away. They're going to be hard to beat. But like we said, we've hit the par. We said a couple of weeks ago, the par for this 4-game run that we've got in front of us is 6 points. We're going home with them already. Yeah, now we can start looking at the cuddly toy and the Combi DVD player video recorder. We can have a look at the new prizes now. What's on offer for us? Can we get those in? Can we get a speedboat? I don't know if the speedboat's within our capabilities, but we might go for it now because we've already got our 6 points in the bag.
Yeah.
You go to Forest and you actually get something out of there, no matter what it is, even a fucking draw, we're above par as long as we don't lose. You get the win, though, we can start looking at a speedboat against Tottenham and going 4 for 4, which, well, technically 5 for 5 then, I guess. But nobody had us down for that. My mate's going to get his hair cut. Like, it's all on the fucking table, isn't it? Like, what an absolute madness that is. So
it is mad.
Oh, you got to take it one game at a time. But we took it one game at a time. We find ourselves 3 for 3. Up until last week, we hadn't won 2 back-to-back. And now we're 3 for 3. And we're sitting here talking about going 4 for 4. And I think we can do it. I think we can do it because the forward line is starting to cook nicely. The midfield's starting to understand its role. We're not getting absolutely carved apart on the transition. We're starting to get there. We've got a goalkeeper we can actually trust to make a save. Like, and we're only playing the one game a week. It's starting to feel like we can do this. And I think if, and it is a big if because Sean Dyche will not make it easily for us. If we can go and get 3 points against Nottingham Forest, that Tottenham game then almost becomes a free swing. Whatever you get, you get. I think we'd all take a draw in that and go four wins and a draw. Probably keep us in top 4, that.
I'm not sure Frank could take it, though, because that would mean no haircut and the restarting of the 5 wins. But as a football fan, I think we would all take that. What has changed, do you think? Do you think it's just they've understood the system more? Is it just a bit of luck? Is it, radical changes to what Amorim's telling them to do? Because it does feel a big jump better, certainly than last season, but even compared to some of the earlier games this season, something
not really,
is different,
though, because
isn't it?
On an XG point of view, we were better than our results were suggesting at the start of the season.
Yeah.
We've got a goalkeeper that's not a cardboard fucking cutout.
That might just be it.
And suddenly, we look half decent. We're not conceding early goals. To be fair, we're not even conceding early chances at the moment, which helps. But maybe it's that. But we're also not putting ourselves under pressure by playing out. We're carting it long. But actually, the first 10 minutes or so today, Brighton did try to go direct. De Ligt and Shaw pushed into midfield. It looked at one point. It looked really weird, which is when it made me get my phone out and go, "Fucking hell, look at this." By the time I took the photo, the picture had changed slightly. But it was like Yoro was in like a right back position, Delo was in a left back position, and there was no defense. There was no central defense because they both pushed into midfield. Brighton kicked it, and it just ran all the way through to Lemon, and it happened twice. Which is what made me go, I'm going to get a picture of this because this is like, what the fuck is going on here, sort of thing. And there's a confidence that you get when you make the opposition just give you the ball back. And you did nothing to get it. You did absolutely nothing to get it. And there'd be some good learning and some good analysis to be had about how we broke Brighton down because Brighton play quite a high line, but it's a very compact line. It's a very, very high line, but from centre half to striker is about 15 metres, and sometimes it might be even less than that. It's such a narrow and compact line. It's you can go over it, but then you're expecting it sometimes to run onto the keeper. You try and play through that, you've got to have fucking sharp passes. And I don't know if you noticed what started the sequence for the second goal. Do you remember?
Was that Mbeumo's goal, or was that Casemiro's goal? Luke Shaw won the ball back, didn't he? Really high up, or am I misremembering?
Apparently, Gary Neville's gone on like mad about that, and not gone on about any of the other stuff. But no, what happened is I'm pretty sure it was Bruno. I'm not sure necessarily who it was that played it in, but someone plays it into Cunha, who's got his back to goal, and he plays off one round the corner. That's what he brings.
Yeah,
and Mbeumo does it in another way. But it's the fact that they're playing off one. And what I like about Cunha is there was a couple of times that he did it in the second half as well, where he'll just pick the ball up and he'll make a move. And that's the maverick. And there was about 4 back heels off him today as well. That's the stuff that he does. And he draws fouls. He drew a foul in the second half. He wasn't fouled. He didn't need to be fouled. But there was nothing on. So he took a foul. He's fucking intelligent, Joe. He's a real intelligent footballer with good vision. And that's what we've lacked. We had fucking headless dickhead chickens like Garnacho that could dribble and run all day long. But he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. It's massive, isn't it? It makes such a difference. Just intelligent, like you said, intelligent technical players once you've got a foundation and a basis defensively, whatever it is, like we said, we need to look more into what we did to make Brighton make those mistakes and to not quite look themselves. That's probably for another video, but it's fantastic to be winning games, and 3 in a row. That's pretty good. I think we've won 5 of our last 7 as well. Even if we just look backwards at that little chunk of games, that is pretty good. And as it stands, as you said, we are 4th in the Premier League table. So that's a nice place to end it. Wrap up before we end up dropping down to 5th. Thank you very much, Steve, for joining us. Thank you for joining us at home as well. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll see you in a bit.